The flames may be out, but a firestorm of controversy rages on after the assault on the Branch Davidian compound. Officials are starting to look for answers after doomsday in Waco. This morning, investigators began sifting through the embers of the Waco compound, searching for the bodies of more than 80 cult members believed killed in the fire. In Washington, President Clinton says he gives his full support to the decisions made by the Attorney General and the FBI to end the siege. But the family members of those killed in Waco have bitter words for those they
came singing songs of love. Then when the hurdy-gurdy man came singing songs of love. Hurdy-gurdy sang. Hurdy-gurdy sang. Hurdy-gurdy sang. Histories of ages past, unenlightened shadows cast down through all eternity, the crying of humanity. 'Tis then when the hurdy-gurdy man comes singing songs of love. Then when the hurdy-gurdy man comes singing songs of love. Hurdy-gurdy, hurdy-gurdy, hurdy-gurdy sang. Hurdy-gurdy, 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 hurdy-gurdy.
The Waco Siege or Waco Massacre was the most inept and deadliest law enforcement siege in American history. By the end of the 51-day siege, 76 Branch Davidians, including 25 children, lay dead. Suspected of stockpiling weaponry, the religious sect Branch Davidians had a search warrant filled out against their compound. When the ATF attempted to search their compound and arrest their leader, David Koresh, they resisted, and the siege ensued. When FBI counterterrorism teams tried to end the siege using incendiary tear gas, a fire ignited, burning down the building and killing all inside. If events like this can unfold, it begs the question, when and where can the government intervene regarding gun ownership under the Second Amendment? And what does the Second Amendment actually protect?
Currently, the Second Amendment has been ruled by the Supreme Court to protect the right of an individual to own a firearm for self-defense through cases like District of Columbia v. Heller. What is still unclear currently is how the government should be able to regulate certain types of firearms. Many bans are in place across the country on certain types of weapons and attachments. Recently, a federal judge struck down an assault weapons ban in California, but the ruling was overturned by an appeals court. This is just one of many cases where it's unclear what can be regulated. So far, the Supreme Court has refused to hear cases regarding this specific issue.
To continue the civil liberty of bearing arms, a few things must happen. Americans should have the right to carry concealed weapons for self-defense without being searched, unless there is probable cause or reasonable suspicion. And the power to make laws regarding regulation and registration of weapons should be reserved by the states. Many think that the right to bear arms is solely a Second Amendment issue, but is also intertwined with the 14th and 10th Amendments. To truly understand how gun rights need to be addressed in the future, we need to look at how the government has regulated them in the past.
From the days of the Minutemen to the right-wing extremists of today, American gun culture has been rooted in the ideals of self-defense since the first colonialists waded ashore. One modern example, the Waco Siege, is a particularly bloody one. When the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives received a warrant to search the Branch Davidians' compound for illegal firearms and arrest their leader, many believed they went too far. As the months of the siege wound on, and the Branch Davidians were pushed to the brink, the FBI accidentally started the deadly fire, and the body count steadily rose. As the public view on the siege turned decidedly negative, controversy over who shot first and subsequent probable government cover-up is highly suspicious, with crucial evidence being destroyed. Less than a month after the siege, the site was bulldozed. The FBI covered up for 6 years. They used pyrotechnics in the assault. 6 highly flammable gas grenades were found in the ruins of the compound. Situations like these are why we need to have clear laws and court rulings that define what the Second Amendment protects what the government has the power to do.
The most significant Supreme Court case ruling surrounding the issue of gun ownership is District of Columbia v. Heller. During this case, the majority court's opinion by Justice Scalia clarified that the Second Amendment does apply to the individual's rights to own a gun, and to view it as anything else would go against the very nature of the amendment's goal, to prevent a standing army from being necessary. This was a huge step for civil liberties, and the case was a success for the most part. However, there are many gray areas introduced because obviously, for safety reasons, guns can't be permitted everywhere. Airports, schools, music venues, and many other public places have little reason for guns, and basically no need in general. The controversial part is that under concealed carry rights, there are many public places where it is legal. Other gray areas are which guns are banned and how laws vary between a type of firearm. Obviously, a gun that can unload 30 bullets in a matter of seconds can't have the same laws as a pistol, which shoots much slower. These laws, right now, for the time being, vary between states. For example, some states require a permit for long guns, while others don't, because it's a state law, not a federal law. Strangely enough, a common theme is that long guns are easier to obtain than handguns in most states, which doesn't really make sense in the real world, because long guns can do a lot more harm than a handgun. In U.S. v. Miller, a court case which involved an unregistered sawed-off shotgun established that concealed sawed-off shotguns are not guaranteed under the Second Amendment. Sawed-off shotguns, which are quite considerably more dangerous than the full double-barrel shotgun, just because of its it's very small, which you can conceal it a lot easier than giant double-barrel shotgun. Anyways, this led the way for many other guns and gun configurations to be restricted as well. Thank you for listening.
The 10th Amendment states, "The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution nor prohibited by it to the states are reserved to the states respectively or to the people." This means that the power to regulate guns is reserved to the states because the power to regulate firearms is not explicitly delegated to the federal government or restricted from the states in the Constitution. In Prince v. United States, decided in 1997, the court ruled that by requiring the states to follow its background checks regulation, the federal government was violating the 10th Amendment. Background checks are just one example of a thing that should be reserved to the states to decide. For the most part, this is the current state of the country, and certain weapons bans are limited to certain states or counties. As long as the states follow the decisions in Heller and McDonald by allowing some sort of firearm for self-defense, the states should be free to regulate the firearms to the extent that their citizens want. In the end, as long as the U.S. still follows the Constitution, gun rights cannot be completely abolished. However, there are many laws and safety measures which must be in place to ensure the safety of the common individual. The debate on guns is nowhere near settled and will still be going on for the years to come.